Greetings fellow guitar travellers, it's Rowan J Parker here and welcome to another episode of Virtuoso Chops. Now in this episode we're going to be focusing on Mr. Left Hand. Hello Mr. Left Hand. Yes, and we're going to be pushing it to its absolute maximum until it completely falls off and dies, and hopefully by the end of the video we will reach our goal tempo, which is 180 beats a minute in semi-quaver triplets. Have to see if we can do that or not. Anyway, before we get into today's lesson, I'd like to encourage you to have a look at my website. That's www.rowanjparker.com. Without going into all the gory details, it's a great site with a lot of free resources. There's a store where you can buy things, and you can also contact me about Skype lessons through the site. You can also subscribe to the website just by sticking your email address in the subscribe box, hit subscribe, and you get tons of free stuff. So go and subscribe and have a look at the site. Anyway, on with today's lesson, Virtuoso Chops. Oh yeah, Mr. Left Hand, prepare for pain. Alright, let's do it. Right, this is how this is going to work. I'm going to show you 3 short little, and dare I say it, simple licks. And the idea is we will ramp them up incrementally until we reach our goal tempo or until my hand collapses. And we'll start at 120 BPM in semi-quaver triplets, go up 10 BPM at a time until we reach the goal tempo 180. Alright, so let me just go ahead and show you the 3 little licks. Here is lick number 1. Now, admittedly, at that tempo, doesn't really sound particularly inspiring or very musical. It's a little repetitive figure, sometimes called an ostinato. It's this sort of idea. Which is one of my pet little things that I've just been able to play for years and years, but it's very, very good for developing the digital control for the hammers and the pull-off. So let me show you the first little lick. Comprises of basically 3 little fragments. Here's fragment 1, fragment 2, fragment 3, back to fragment 2, and then the whole thing starts again. We're in the key of D minor here. It's D Aeolian, or in fact the examples I'll be doing will be B flat Lydian. It's a related key. I'll just go ahead and give you the verbal tab here. So this is on the high E string. You've got high E 13, 10, 12, 13, 12, 10. That's the first fragment. Second fragment is still on the high E. 15, 12, 13, 15, 13, 12. And then moving to the next fragment, third fragment, we've got 17, 13, 15, 17, 15, 13, and then back to the second fragment. They're pretty mindless really. No great mystery there. You can pick the first note of each little figure if you like, or as you'll see when I'm actually playing it, I will be picking it all. It's all just going to be left hand hammer on and pull off. Alright, so that's our first little ostinato type figure. And then the next one, it's just going to be pretty much straight pull offs. 6 note pull off figure, this one. Again, just descending our D Aeolian or B flat Lydian scale. Again, it's an old chestnut. So 6 notes down, we've got G, 14, 12, 10 and D, 14, 12, 10. That's it. Again, you can pick the first note of each 3 note group if you like, or just all left hand. It's up to you. And then the last one, incredibly cliched, 6 note hammer on. That one. So what we've got there is D, 14, 15, 17, G, 14, 15, 17. Again, you can pick the first note of each 3 note group, or you can just all hammer on as you like. It's up to you. Right, and those are the licks. So we're just going to be playing the ostinato figure, and then the pull-offs, and then the hammer-ons. So these are really easy left-hand patterns. The difficulty is just going to be really pushing it to the absolute extreme tempos. Alright, so let's get in with it. Our first tempo, 120 BPM, semi-quaver triplets. Off we go. Okay, here is our opening tempo, 120 BPM. Now for me this will seem like a very, very easy tempo, though I'm aware of the fact that for some of you this will seem impossibly quick. And if it does feel that quick, unachievable, merely back the tempo down until you are comfortable and you can articulate and keep good and accurate time. So whatever that is, 80 beats a minute or 90 beats a minute, whatever you can manage. A few things to say about the articulation, and that is make sure or ensure that you don't start dragging the strings down towards the floor when you pull off, this sort of thing. It'll sound fairly freaking awful if you do. One of the ways to prevent that happening is you can use your index finger on your left hand like a little anchor to hold the string firmly in place as you pull off. and this will stop the pitch distorting. Also try and make sure that the volume of all the notes is roughly similar, so that you don't have this enormously loud note that you pick and then the other note sounding rather weedy and pathetic. Try and keep the volume more or less the same. Of course, distortion will help, and if you use things like compression, that will also help, but you should really be able to articulate this stuff well with a clean tone as well. So just be aware of that. Now, let's just move to our playing demonstration, 120, and see how we fare. Off we go, let's rock. One, two, three, okay, that seemed absolutely fine to me. I could manage that without breaking too much of a sweat, so quite happy with how that sounds at 120. Let's push it 10 BPM and see what we've got. Okay, it's 130 now. I still don't anticipate having that much of a problem at 130, but we will see, because it is a Sunday morning and the fingers might be sleepy. Let's just find out what happens. One, two, three, four. That seems absolutely fine to me. That's well within my comfort zone. I don't even feel like I'm beginning to push yet, so quite happy with that. Let's push on 140. Okie dokie, here we are at 140. Let's just see what will happen here. I'm going to keep a close eye on the articulation, make sure you can still hear everything, make sure all the notes are nice and snappy and zingy and we can hear everything. Alright, let's see what we have. One, two, three, four. Seems fine as well. I can actually feel, because I'm quite, right now, my hand's actually quite cold, and I can actually feel just by doing this that the hand is starting to warm up, and hopefully by the time we reach 180 I'll be properly warmed up and be able to do it, otherwise things might get horrible. Anyway, let's on to our first real benchmark now, 150. This is very respectable for legato. A lot of guys will work quite hard to get to 150. It is, after all, 15 notes per second, which is shred in anybody's book. Alright, off we go, 150. And here we are, our first real benchmark for legato, 150. It's incredibly respectable, and if this ends up being your limit, that's absolutely fine because it's pretty shred-tastic. Alright, again, paying attention to the articulation of the notes, making sure we can hear everything quite clearly, and making sure the timing doesn't start to slip. Still sextuplets. Alright, let's try. One, two, three, four. Yeah, it feels okay, and I can actually feel that I'm starting to warm up now, so hopefully this is going to go well. Alright, 150 in the bag, off we go, 160. Okay, 160, is it achievable? Let's find out. One, two, three, four. seemed okay. A little bit of left hand fatigue setting in, but I think that's just due to the fact that I'm not properly warmed up yet. In terms of articulation and timing, yes, it seemed okay, so I'm content with that. It's alright. Let's move on and try 170. Okay, here's 170. It's going to start getting quite tricky now, so I've no idea whether we're going to do this today. Let's find out if we can. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, pretty much just hanging in there. It's a bit of a strain. Feel that they're not properly warmed up yet, so it's pushing it. Okay, right, let's go for the big 180. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we go for the big 180, which is absolutely my maximum. Let's just see if we can punch it out or not. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, it's a beast to play 180 and I'm really at my absolute limit, so no further. Okay, just a wrap up to do. Okay, that wraps up for this short little lesson on developing your legato chops. I've got to say at the end, that was absolute death for my left hand. It was extremely tricky, so good luck with getting up to that tempo. Alright, now don't forget to check out my website, www.rowanjparker.com. You can get me on YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook page which you can like if you like. I'm also on SoundCloud. It's Rowan-Parker on SoundCloud. Alright, I'll catch you next time for another episode of Virtuoso Chops. Till then, keep rocking. Farewell.